Okay there. My name is John Omolo Imesha. Welcome to another section with Major. Today we are talking about cryptocurrency. So today, Crypto 101. Cryptocurrency is now something that is major. It's something you cannot avoid. It's something you cannot push to the back seat. Whether you like it or not, whether you want it or not, whether you actually want it to become mainstream or not, cryptocurrency is going mainstream. So it is up to you to be part of it. Like those are fathers that says social media is demonic. You can be part of them and take the back seat and watch other people, climb to their next level, become something better or make a lot of cash. The truth of the matter is, it is all about making the money. So we are going to be talking about Crypto 101 today. We'll be talking about cryptocurrency at the end of this am I going to call it workshop, seminar, webinar? At the end of this training, you will know what cryptocurrency are, what blockchain is all about. You have basic knowledge of all of them. You know where to buy, how to store them, what to consider, how to know, everything you need to know. So let's dive in as fast as possible. So what is blockchain and how does it work? See, blockchain is a decentralized ledger that is used to record the origin of digital assets. It doesn't matter if the asset is a coin, if the asset is a work of art, if the asset is a picture, if the asset is a cloth, but the digital representation, the origin of the digital representation of digital asset, that is exactly what blockchain does. You don't need to say, it's a lie, this person did it first, this another person did it first. But the first time that digital product goes on the blockchain, it will be recorded and it is immutable. You can't re-edit it, you can't rewrite it. So the day you put that information there, it sticks. Because why? It is decentralized. The moment you put an information on the blockchain, it gets distributed to many people. Every people that has involvement in the blockchain, it gets distributed to them. So if you are going to re-edit it, that means you have to go and meet all of them, everybody in their house, and tell them, please help me. No, which is not possible. So it's a decentralized distributed ledger that is used to record the origin of digital assets. So how does it work? Now let me give you a good example of what the blockchain does. The photographer snaps a picture of a man that is biting a dog. Good. He snaps a picture of a man that is biting a dog like this. So when he snaps that picture, good. He snaps that picture, then he carries that picture, print like 50 of that same picture, then gave it out to 50 people. It gives it out to 50 people. So the person in that picture now sees that picture and says, I don't like this picture. I don't like the way people are this picture. I don't like the way the way my head is looking, or maybe my head is tilted. Now say, I want to change the way I'm looking in that picture. Now 50 people has gotten that picture. There is no way you can change that picture in your hand and every other person every other people we have that changes. It's not possible. You understand what I'm saying? That picture that photographer snapped and distributed to audio 50 people is going to be the first picture. If you decide to change the one in your hand and change the way you tilt your head, it will not change in their hand. According to those 50 people, it is still that same picture that is the first one. Every other one you do is a photocopy or a fake or something like that. You understand? Is the origin of the picture. Okay, you don't understand. Let me give you another explanation. A digital representation of the origin of a digital asset. Now that picture goes to 50 people. They all see that picture that man is biting a dog. Somebody cannot come from somewhere else to tell those 50 people that no, that person was not biting a dog, he was biting a chicken. It's not possible. They'll be like, we all got the same picture that this guy is biting a dog, and this guy is saying no, his chicken is biting. It's not possible. The fact still remains that everybody saw a picture of somebody biting a dog. That is exactly how blockchain is when decentralized. When you put an information in the blockchain, it gets recorded and sent to multiple people. So you can't just wake up one day and say, no, this is what you sent. All the multiple will tell you, say, oh boy, now waiting we see be this. And when like 90 to 91 people are telling you that this is what they saw the very first day you posted this thing. So there's no way you can change it. So it is very hard to commit fraud on the blockchain. Why? Because it's not just one person you are reporting to. Anything you put on the blockchain gets sent to multiple people. So you can't just wake up one day and change it. That is exactly what the blockchain is all about. It creates trust among different set of people. So it doesn't have to be controlled. So it's not controlled by one person. It is controlled by multiple people, different ways, different power. So no one person can stand up and say they want to destroy the information stored on the blockchain. So it's for all digital currency. You understand what I'm saying right now? You send the information to the blockchain and it gets distributed to multiple people so that you can't just wake up and say you want to change it. It's like that is exactly what the blockchain does. It creates proof that what has been stored there cannot be changed. Why? Because it has been distributed to many people. So the blockchain is, the security on the blockchain is very high, and it creates trust among people. So that is the blockchain for you. It's a decentralized ledger, decentralized record, more like saying the record in GT Bank. When they record that you came to collect money in GT Bank and they send it to like Audio Nigerians, I now go back to GT Bank and say, yo, I have not collected money, and they ask everybody that record has been sent to that, did this guy collect money? And they say yes. When everybody says yes, power of the people. You win. So you get a drill. If you want to know more about the blockchain technology, you need to go and do more research for yourself. I think I can go further than that for now. So the next slide, what are cryptocurrency and how are they created? So there's no way you can talk about cryptocurrency and not talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a jagaman. So like I said, the blockchain is a decentralized ledger where the origin of digital assets are shown. So Bitcoin happens to be the first cryptocurrency. You get it? It's the first cryptocurrency, and it's kind of the badass cryptocurrency right now. It's the biggest, as at the time of this video, Bitcoin is around 60,000, I think above 60,000 US dollars. So let me talk about Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is a digital asset. So okay, let's start. What are cryptocurrency and how are they created? Cryptocurrencies are digital currency, more like your fiat currency. Your fiat currency are your naira, your dollar, your euro, and all that. So cryptocurrency are also currencies, but in digital form. They are not fiat, they are not paper. You can't see them, they are digital. So Bitcoin, the first one, was created by the man that created the blockchain. So his first test run was with Bitcoin. Back in 2008, there was a global financial meltdown when money became useless. To an extent, money became useless. So this guy in the said like, so this government are just printing money and creating destruction. People losing money. People don't even know the worth of their money. Why? Because the government can no longer be trusted. So he created a blockchain technology that can be trusted, because it is not just going to be a centralized power like the government of that country. So he created something that different people we have power over it. So it's like giving the power back to the people, taking the power away from the government and giving it back to the people, which is exactly what he created. He created something decentralized. Anybody that has the financial capability can go into the cryptocurrency space. So cryptocurrency are digital assets. So the Bitcoin was the first currency that he created, that currency to become a global currency that can be spent anywhere around the world. So like with the creation of Bitcoin, you can spend it in Nigeria, you can spend it in Ghana, you can spend it in Europe, anywhere in Europe, you can spend it anywhere in Asia, you can spend it anywhere in America. So at least that is the reason behind the creation of the Bitcoin, and I believe it's actually serving that purpose right now. So cryptocurrency are digital coins, digital assets that are used for transaction on the internet. The major ones are Bitcoin, Ethereum, Binance Coin, BUSD. So how are they created? Most of the time, generally all cryptocurrency are created with a code. Since they are digital, you need a code to create digital assets. So they are created through code, and through code they are created through code. Then a way for it to be created for distribution is what we call mining. You mine them. The best way to mine Bitcoin and Ethereum is to get Bitcoin and Ethereum majorly is through mining. You mine them. Like for Bitcoin, there is a system that you get into, that is the blockchain of the Bitcoin itself. You solve some mathematical puzzles. If you get it right, you'll be rewarded. Then you get Bitcoin. Right now, I won't even tell you to go near it, except you have enough ego to go into it, because mining Bitcoin right now is very competitive and is very, very expensive. Your best bet is just to go and buy a part of it online. Also Ethereum too, you get it through mining. So, and there are other ways that you can get all these coins. Some of these coins you don't need to mine them, because some of these coins are actually backed by utility. More like, okay, let me give you a good example. Like if I own a company and I want people to actually invest in my company, and I'll tell them, okay, invest in my company, I'll reward you with a token. Then I create that token and reward them with it. If I'm performing better in my company and the value increases, your money increases too. Just like the way shares was created, shares of company, that is how these coins too were created. They just created a coin for themselves to become a representation of the company, just like the stock market. You understand what I mean? Just like the stock market, just like the forex market, they created a representation of their company in the form of token. They give it to the general public or sell it to the general public to raise fund. So they are some way or the other, but generally cryptocurrency are created with codes. Just like your fiat currency, they are created with paper, with machine and all that, and they give you paper. What gives it value is the government of the country that put a stamp on it, just like cryptocurrency too. What gives cryptocurrency value are the companies or the institution that are behind those cryptocurrency. You get what I'm saying? You need to know more about this cryptocurrency. With time, you understand it. But just on a general ground, cryptocurrencies are digital assets for digital payments online, and they are created through mining or through reward programs to be as a representation of their industry. You understand what I'm saying, right? Good. So where to buy cryptocurrencies? This cryptocurrency definitely is not everybody that knows how to code. It's not everybody that can create a company to churn out this cryptocurrency. So most of the time it is best to actually look for where to buy. buy it and keep it, because right now they are very valuable. When it becomes fully mainstream, it will become very expensive, and you'll be like, oh, I wish I bought it a few years ago. So where can you buy? So we have two places where you can buy these coins: in a centralized exchange, that is the CEX, or the decentralized exchange, that is the DEX. Now, when cryptocurrency was created, the main objective of the creator is to have a decentralized economy. But you know the way this work works now, people still want to centralize things, have a old governing power to something, because human beings, to an extent, when there is no law, there will always be a problem. So that is why there's this creation of this centralized exchange. Now, the exchange are not the coin themselves, they are just custodians. These people who keep, like, who are like a middle ground, like okay, a good example is the marketplace, where you go and buy food stuff. You go there, you buy your food, and you go home. You don't need to stay in the market, right? Even the market women too, they will not stay in the market. That is the essence of this exchange. It is, so you can go there and buy and go and keep in your house. You can go there and buy and keep on your own digital platform. So where can you buy? Centralized exchange. The major ones, the big ones that we have right now, but not limited, is Binance. Binance is like the biggest when it comes to market cap. We have Coinbase, we have Huobi, we have OKX, we have Gate.io, we have other powerful ones too. That's for centralized exchange. Both of them have do's and don'ts. Both of them have advantage and disadvantage, so which you get to know as time goes on. The decentralized exchange, we have Uniswap, which is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, I think the biggest right now. We have PancakeSwap, we have DYDX, we have SushiSwap, we have 1inch Exchange, we have DogeSwap, we have TatCoinSwap, different decentralized exchange. The idea is, do your own research, look for, because most of these exchanges, they have geo restriction. Like Coinbase now, if you're in Nigeria, you find it very hard to buy any coin on Coinbase. So most of them are restricted to some locations. Like I said, even Binance.com, you can't get it in the United States. If you want to buy coin on Binance, you have to use Binance.us. It's geo restricted. That Binance.us is only for US people. You get what I'm saying right now? So these are the major places where you can buy cryptocurrency. If you want more information on where to buy them, you can, get in touch with me, message me. You see my phone number, my WhatsApp number before the end of the screen. So, how to store your crypto assets? How to store your crypto assets? This cryptocurrency assets. The reason I put asset is because they are valuable. They are something that generates you money as time goes on, because it's still in the early stage. And anything that is in the early stage, when you get on it very fast, the chance of you making money from it is very, very high. So it's called cryptocurrency, crypto assets. So how do you store them? See, there are no good ways, there are no bad ways. The idea is just be security conscious, know how to store it. But the best way to store your cryptocurrency is using cold wallet. So how to store your cryptocurrency? So there are ways to store it. The two major ways are called hot wallet and cold wallet. I think those are the two ways anyway. Hot wallet and cold wallet. Oh, there is a third one called hybrid. Those are the ones that make use of both together. Like Coinbase make use of hybrid wallet, where some of them are in cold wallet and some of them are in hot wallet. So what is the difference between hot wallet and cold wallet? Now, most exchanges have hot wallet. Now, the reason it's called hot wallet is because it is connected to the internet. Anywhere you have your wallet, how to store it? Okay, first of all, if you want to store your crypto, you need a wallet. Just like you need wallet to store your naira or your dollar or your euro or your pounds, you understand? You need a hot wallet. You need a wallet to store it. So whether you choose hot wallet or cold wallet, it is generally up to you. So what are hot wallets? Hot wallets are wallets that are connected to the internet. Whether it's on your phone, it's on your desktop, on your laptop, or anywhere. If it's connected to the internet, if it's on your mobile phone and connected to the internet, it's a hot wallet. The problem with what hot wallet is, sometimes they can be hacked. They are vulnerable to scams and all that. You can easily get hacked. So if you have enough cryptocurrency, please take your money away from hot wallet and put it in cold wallet. So what are cold wallets? Cold wallets, you understand now, it is not connected to the internet. So somebody cannot just come and hack your this thing, you understand, your coin, if it's not collected. So this cold wallet, there are two ways to actually do this cold wallet thing. One is paper wallet. That one, your crypto key, your security phrase is written for you on a paper and printed. You can laminate it and go and keep it. Any year you want to make use of your coin, you can go and get it out again. The same thing as hardware wallet. Hardware wallet is always like, this flash. That's how you did it. Your crypto gets stored on that flash and you remove it from your laptop and go and keep it. So it is not connected to the internet. It will take I don't know. It can't even hack it because it's not connected to the internet. The only things that get hacked are things that are connected to the internet. You can't tell me if you're on your laptop and somebody hack your laptop where you're not connected to the internet, or virus entered your laptop where you're not connected to the internet, or you're not connected to something that has virus. You understand what I'm saying? If you're not connected, you can't get hacked. So that is different. And for you to transact, if you're a trader, you need a hot wallet. But for storage, you need a cold wallet most of the time. So hot wallet, they are normal, most centralized exchange. All centralized, I think most, they are hot wallet. Why? Because they are regularly connected to the internet. Then we have normal wallet like Trust Wallet. All these coins, they are wallet. Arbitrage Wallet, Dogecoin Wallet, Clev Wallet, MetaMask. All those wallets too, they are all hot wallets because they are connected to the internet. So how you want to store it is up to you, but as time goes on, when you know more about this cryptocurrency, you know which one to choose and which one not to choose. So things to consider in cryptocurrency. And do your research before buying any coin. See, some coins are called shit coins. These coins, you just waste your money. So don't put your money in such coin. There are coins that are stable coin. Those type of coins that are pegged against the dollars. Some coins are meme coins. These coins are just there for, say, make you just get coin. That's what they are there for. So do your research. Know the type of coin you are putting your money. Don't put your coin and say cryptocurrency is a scam. Crypto is not a scam, man. You understand what I'm saying? So do your research before buying any coin. Put your money only in coins that you trust. You know the people behind those projects, because no business is a scam. It's the team behind that project that are called scam, or the people behind those projects. So you understand what I'm saying? So do your research before buying any coin. Number 2, never leave too much money in a CX. That's in a centralized exchange. Don't leave too much coin in a centralized exchange. Like I said, centralized exchange, most of them are prone to attack. In the last 12 months, most of these platforms were attacked, cyber breach and all that, and most of their coin were stolen. Don't fall for it. So don't leave too much coin in a centralized exchange. You understand what I mean? Because if their server is being hit, is being attacked by all these cyber guys, they will steal your coin. Probably you might get the coin, but it will take a while. So don't leave too much coin there. Make sure you move your coin away from centralized exchange, like all those centralized, and take it to, even if it's still in a hot wallet, take it to a personal wallet like Trust Wallet, like MetaMask, like all those wallets that are not centralized. take it there, because those ones don't have too much traffic like those centralized exchange. And those centralized exchange, to an extent, they can just lock you out of your of your wallet, tell you that you did a security breach or something happened. They don't give you any reason. You understand what I'm saying? So take your coin away to a wallet that is not in a centralized exchange. Number 3, take security serious. Many people today, they are always doing airdrop. At the end of the day, they connect their wallet to these airdrop people. Before you know it, all these airdrop that I see, most of them are scams. They will just infiltrate your wallet, and before you know it, you just wake up one day and notice that your coin is gone, or your coins are gone. Be like, what happened? Take security very, very serious. Just like you won't allow your account or your ATM card to be connected to just any website online, so also take the wallet of your cryptocurrency very serious. Don't just get connected to all this. Most of them are scam. You understand? Take the security of your coin serious. Money no be water. Abi, money no be this way they pluck for tree. Take it serious. So anyway, I'm going to drop my curtain. My name is John Omoloye Meshe. I am a crypto trader. I'm an affiliate marketer. I'm a web designer, and I'm also a teacher. I simplify things. So you can reach me online at Major Trends on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook. You can just type Major Trends. My name will come out, John Meshe. You can also look for me at Meshe John on Instagram and on Twitter. Have a lovely day.